Alright, AAA stock losing value. Definitely because, is it going to be a surprise that it is because AAA companies are publishing and sending out things that suck? Is it really a surprise to you guys? And let me just make this clear, okay? The only thing that you guys care about is quantity over quality. And if quality is something that suffers, how do you think people are going to react when it comes to video games? Heck, investors see it black and white. If it is not profitable, where do you think their investment would go? It would go away. They would invest in someone else. This is why the system of corporations really absolutely sucks. Why should people even care about this? Normal people should care because it is the way the games are made. Only through profitability. No, it should not be that way. So I'm actually leaving to get my sister out of work because she has a night shift and she needs a ride back. So basically, what the heck do I think about AAA companies these days? Well, to start off, their aim to just profit and not seek so much quality in their products. AAA companies for games, all right? It's a huge deal to a lot of people, but of course they can get things done. Just the problem is, they're always listening to less input from their potential buyers. Considering that the game should cater to players, that is a big issue to me. The aim itself is a very, very big issue to me. So I wouldn't really be surprised that if they actually screw the game, they would screw it up royally to the point that players are going to disown these companies in the first place. Companies, I'm speaking to you. AAA companies, I'm speaking to you. You have good developer studios, for the most part. You're saying that you can't make a good game because people are not investing in it enough. Maybe it's because you're not giving them enough of a real outline and a specific product test to actually give them the opportunity to actually gauge the product for themselves, at least before you guys are able to give them the test run or something like that. I know that they're investors, but give them the gist of your product instead of a visual thing, instead of something that's intangible, so that it's your entire policy of taking in what the investment give investors the chance to gauge your product personally, right? That's a better way to actually give them some sort of idea what to expect of this game. And at the same time, your investors should be people like the gamers. Basically, those who you market this to should be what makes up your investors in the first place. Why not? Of course, you wouldn't want that because gamers may not always have the money. But at the same time, all we're asking is that you actually become considerate. How hard is it to become considerate when it comes to your own market? It should not be a surprise that games are only being catered to what the investors are expecting of them. Seriously, basically, you're equating the game. AAA companies, you're equating your own game to your own feelings, not to what other people are expecting out of it and what other people actually would like to actually see out of this product. That's a stupid way to actually make games at all. Your idea to actually infiltrate gaming as it is, it already sucks ass. I know that you see profitability in this, but don't just stick to where it can work, alright? You're expected to take risks, and risks are something that you should definitely take on this. So, where exactly would the quality of this come from? Your persistence, not just the safe way of playing shit. It's absolutely your persistence, not your way of playing safe, that actually helps a game succeed. Your persistence is enough to make sure that this game actually succeeds, even if you take risks. It just matters of what the scale would be on each product, right? So it makes absolute sense to make smaller projects so that it would actually be good for the whole. I mean, if you're making a series, try to dumb it down to smaller sizes so that it can actually be high quality for each entry. Why not? I mean, how insanely broad do you want to have a game? Okay, sorry. How insanely broad do you want a game to be for you to actually realize your vision? If it's too much for you, and if it's not working for you, then why not chunk it? Why not chunk it down? It's not bad to actually chunk it down and divide and conquer, okay? Or are you the type that goes, let's keep doing this so that until people get satisfied? Let me just tell you, until people get satisfied. That's a bad way to develop your product right there. If you keep forcing down the product that you desire, do you think your own market is going to give a damn about you? You keep doing that repeatedly, and what do you think people are going to expect out of you? They're going to keep taking your shit. The likes of Ubisoft, for example. Actually, you're a concrete example of all this. Basically, Ubisoft, you just make me laugh. Your stock is failing, and you fail to keep asking yourselves why, and you fail to improve. How do you think people are actually going to react to that? And how do you think investors are going to actually react to what you're doing? Star Wars Outlaws is a failure. You were once something more, but of course, because of the quality of your games, it's lowering every freaking time that you make a big release. Look, you're not even following other people's advice of chunking it down. You can't do that, so you're always failing. If you don't have a learning curve for these things, and I mean it, you should have a learning curve for these kinds of things. Game development always changes through times. Why can't you guys do the same? Business also should change every time a piece of their development also changes. Unfortunately, that's the reality of it. You guys don't see it from the outside. All I just want to conclude is, well, give little reason for yourself to actually be doubted by everyone, and just be in open communication. Give your input, let them give their input, let them understand you. Why can't you do that as a person? Of course, corporations cannot do that as a person because they always got to make the decisions. Like, it's a hard thing to do. Of course, even board members inside a corporation can have their own agendas, and it stifles decision making. That's the big problem when it comes to development. It is slow because decision making is also slow. AAA companies, we are begging you, change your direction, change the way you make your games, and maybe we would still try to listen to you. We would tolerate you, but the way you make games these days, don't expect us to actually just bow down and listen to all your feelings without making a retaliation or without making a counter statement. We're not your subjects, we're not your slaves, we're not your echo chamber. We are your market. So stop giving us bullshit. Oh my god, it's raining out here. I just really realized this. But as it's raining right here, yeah, you know exactly what this means. It means I got a solution for all this. Abolish game companies' ability to actually hire development studios into making the games they think would succeed. You see, the thing is, game companies keep on believing that if they remain profitable, they would succeed in the long run. The problem with that aim
And I mean it. The problem with that aim is that they do not take input of their own of their own market into account, and they don't take input just to save time. That is my big problem. That is my big problem with this. So remove the ability for them to actually depend on game development studios. Let these studios just go to independent firms all the way. Big game companies do not deserve any of the services of development studios. Or maybe these companies have their own development studios. If this is so, let these game companies remain small. Don't make them into corporations. Or everyone's going to suffer because of you. Ubisoft, you're entirely included in this. Basically, stop giving us shitty games. Please. Anyway, my next clip is later when I get home, so yeah. Basically, AAA companies, stop being bitches to your own market. Just do that, and we'll be fine with you. But otherwise, you're not fooling anyone. Boom.